Hello everyone. How are you? This is Lia Nascimento, your favorite Atlanta realtor, and today I'm here to talk to you about due diligence. The Atlanta market is hot. It's the springtime and everybody's buying. Properties are selling so quickly. So if you got a home to sell, it's reasonably priced. It is in good shape and it shows wonderfully. I can guarantee you it's going to be off your hands in no time, especially if you call me to do it for you. So guys, I want to talk to you today about due diligence because things are selling so fast and you might find yourself with a sale contract in your hand and not know what to do. So when your home is sold, you get a contract, both parties negotiate and agree on it. There is a small part of it that talks about due diligence. But what is that? So the part that matters to the seller is due diligence is the time that the buyer has to study the house, the neighborhood, and his choices and decide whether or not he will continue with the sale. So during due diligence period here in my area, which is Atlanta, Georgia, the buyer may leave a contract, may terminate a contract during due diligence for any reason or no reason at all. There's no rhyme or shape to it. They can do it. So in order to plan ahead, you should know how to work out due diligence. So when you get a contract, it does not mean your house has been sold. It just means that the buyer is going through the motions to get it to be sold. So what do they do during this period? Well, they will check HOAs. So if you have a homeowners association, you will want to send the buyers all the covenants, the laws, the restrictions, the management company name, the HOA name. You want them to be able to go out, talk to these companies, and make up their mind, their own decision as to whether or not all the rules of this community matches up with their life choices. Also, the buyer will check out the schools, the neighborhood. They'll make sure that that's the place that they want to live. Another thing that they will do, most likely, is this. Ta-da-da-da. This is the infamous home inspection. All right, just so you can have an idea. You see this? You see how thick this is? This is 40 pages of information about your house. A whole lot of them. And home reports, they can be very long. I've seen them be 46 pages long. This one is actually exactly 39 pages. I don't know if you can see it right there. So, and this is not even an old house. This is a 1998 reasonably taken care of house, and it's still 40 pages long. And a lot of times the buyer's agent will send this over to your agent or to you if you're for sale by owner and tell you, hey, look at this. And you may look at this document, this huge document, and kind of freak out, but you don't have to. And that's why we're here. Why don't you want to freak out when you get this, if you get this, because you may not get this. Because a lot of the things here may only be information, such as, hey, in 10 to 15 years, you might want to change the roof, or the water heater is approaching the end of its life expectancy, things like that. You don't have to do them. However, this report will contain certain things that you probably want to do, such as if there is a roof leak, you want to fix them, even if you're selling your property as is. And why? What is selling your property as is? Let's go there first. As is means usually in the head of the seller that he will sell his property and wash his hands. He's not doing anything else. The buyer is buying as is. He's done. But sometimes even as is, you're not, because if there is a roof leak, you as the owner of the property, and you will be the owner of it until the buyer pays you for it. as the owner of the property, you don't want a bad condition to continue to deteriorate. So if there is a roof leak, you will want to fix it. If there is a safety issue, if there is a high cost ticket item, you probably want to fix it, just so you have a good marketable property. So you can, if you don't sell it to this buyer, you can sell it to the next, or you can enjoy it if you decide not to sell it anymore. So keep that in mind, you know, be reasonable with it, even if you're selling it as is. But certain things like, well, there is a stain in the master bathroom on the wall, or the the living room carpet has a little tear. Well, those are cosmetic things that the buyer should have seen when they walked in. It's okay to say no to those. You don't have to do them, but you can if you want to. Just think about it. When the buyer is asking you for all these things, think about it on your, put yourself in their shoes. If it was you purchasing that property, how would you like the seller to react? And maybe they're even first time home buyers, and they're scared of everything. They have never done any home maintenance. They don't know what to do. So, you know, maybe you just want to talk to them, and it's okay to talk, and it's okay to say yes, and it's okay to say no when it's too much, when it makes no sense. It's okay, but just explain that, you know, have that conversation. Something else that you want to do when you are in due diligence, don't let it get to the last minute before you negotiate items in it, or before you talk about what the buyer is doing in it. Traditionally, due diligence on a residential sale lasts between 10 and 14 days. That's a negotiable item. But the things are so crazy, the market is so hot, that a lot of the buyer's agents and a lot of the sellers too, it's your right to negotiate that, are asking due diligence to be shorter. It's not uncommon to see 5 days, 7 days, even 3 days due diligence. So know you can negotiate that, okay? But early on due diligence, you want to ask your agent, when is the buyer coming for a home inspection? Because you want the home inspection to be done early, and you want the and you want to negotiate those items early, because the earliest you lock in the buyer, the better for you. Because let's say that you get a property under contract, they have 10 days of due diligence. Let's say they do their home inspection on day 2. Let's say on day 3, you go ahead and you negotiate what repairs are going to be done to the property, and or if you're giving money instead of repairs, or if you're lowering the price instead of repairs. There's a lot of things you can negotiate in there. So let's say that by day 4, everybody has agreed on and everybody's good to continue. So your agent should, when they send you that amendment listing what is it that you're doing to make that buyer happy, should also put "and due diligence ends today." Why? Because when due diligence ends, it will be the first time that the buyer is truly locked in. It is the first time where you, as the seller, may be entitled to the buyer's earnest money. And how are you entitled to that? After due diligence, after you have gone through the process, then if the buyer doesn't keep up his end of the bargain, meaning they don't do something, and that is not just not being approved for the mortgage, they lack doing something that they promised they would do, or they just change their mind. And I've had so many, well, not so many, but I've had a couple of people who changed their minds on buying a property 2 days before closing. I know, right? But at that point, you are entitled to their earnest money, and that earnest money could help you make that extra mortgage payment while your property goes back on the market and you're able to sell it to the next buyer. So think about that when negotiating, okay? Don't let it be on day 9.5 that you finally pick up the phone and say, hey, so are we good to go? Are we doing anything? Because then it's too late. Maybe you already bought another house and you depend on this closing to close on the next one. And you put yourself in a bad situation, and now you have to agree with the buyer's demand, all of them, simply because you can't get out of it anymore. It's too late. Or maybe it's what happens is there's not enough time to negotiate, so the buyer gets out of it because they didn't get negotiated. So just think about that. Something to keep in mind too during due diligence, the buyer may bring on their aunts, their cousins, their designer, their builder, and they will want to look at your house. That is okay. Okay, you can't let them in because they need to be sure they want to buy the house. So I know it can be a little annoying, but work with them. It's their new home. They're happy, and you're probably most likely getting yourself a new home too. And I'm sure you're excited about that, and you'd like that seller to let you come in and measure the living room so you can buy all the furniture you like. So if you have questions, if you want to know more, do call me. I'm right here in Atlanta. It's 843-267-4165. I know I have a South Carolina number, but I am located in Atlanta. I do all my business here. Metro Atlanta is my town. Or leave your comment here, text me, email me. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. I am available and I want to make your home selling experience the best one you can have. So my name is Leah Nascimento. I'm a realtor in Metro Atlanta, and I'll see you soon. Take care.